What's up, everybody? My name is Emo Aladdin, and I'm going to show you guys how to make a feature link. So as musicians, of course, we've got news almost every single week, whether it's going to be a new single that's coming out, whether it's a new music video, whether we have a show coming up, or if we're looking for a new drummer, or maybe we're looking for a connection to somebody, right? So there are many things we can do to make sure that our feature links are optimized. So you're probably very familiar with this view right here that you're looking at. And if you look towards the middle part of my screen here, you will see where it says feature links right there. So that is what you're going to click on to create your feature links. And what I'd like to kind of show you are the list of my feature links, so that you can start getting some ideas as to how to structure your feature links, but also some new ideas as to how to grow your music, whether it's by your fan base, your engagement, or your connections. Okay, so I want to go over three major types of feature links: engagement, prospects, and last but not least, that is connections. Okay, so we're going to start off with the easier one, the one that most of us know, and that is engagement. As musicians, we benefit greatly from having views on our YouTube videos or on our Facebook videos, our Instagram videos, follows on our Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, and of course, listens, right? How many streams that we get, how many downloads that we get. So that is engagement. That all of that falls under engagement. The growth of your views and follows and subs and all that. So I would encourage you to create a feature link. But when you do that, you want to point out what type of a feature link it is. So for example, I've got an engagement type of feature link for my latest single. It works mostly with conservative groups, so I'm very specific as to where I want to share. You can always say share on my share on your profile, or share on Instagram, share on MeWe, wherever, but be specific as to where you want, or be vague and just say share everywhere. But specificity can prove to be very beneficial. So I've got my DistroKid, which is my hyperfollow, and as soon as the track is released, then I'll probably update this URL to include the Spotify link, or my Apple Music, or perhaps my Linktree, right? You should have a Linktree. And if you don't know what that is, Google it, Linktree, and have one. But really, where it becomes extremely important for you to think outside of the box is the description, okay? You're going to be able to change this. So say, for example, you have the same single that you want to promote week after week. You don't just keep this description where it is. If you've got a single that you really want to promote, change up the description. There's so many things you can say about your one single, right? What went into writing the parts, what went into recording it, what went into coming up with the lyrics, what went into, or a story about somebody that contacted you and say how that song changed their life, how it changed them. Put that in the description, but just make sure when you write in your description that it's in third person, A, B, that it's for someone who's never heard of you before. So if you're going to say something like, check out Aladdin's new single, right? No, people are going to like, oh, who's Aladdin? Well, they'll probably confuse it with the cartoon, but any band, like, let's say the Flip Flops, right? Check out the Flip Flops' latest single. They're not going to know who the Flip Flops are, so they're not going to have any reason to check it out. So you really want to sell the song. So if you love loud guitars, multiple voice parts, and lyrics that challenge the establishment, this is the song for you, okay? What this disable one is for is, instead of deleting your feature link, you can always disable it. You can save it for later, and you can revive it. Okay, that's what this disable feature is for. So that is your engagement type of feature link. Let's just kind of summarize all over again. Engagement, you want to put that into the title. You also want to put in what it is, right? If I put in the people's home, because your fellow members read this, so they just want to know, hey man, how am I helping you? Oh, cool. Okay, I'm helping with your engagement. This is your latest single, and you want me to share on conservative groups. Cool. I'm not a conservative, I'm a liberal, but you know what? I'm going to join some conservative groups, and I'm going to share your music there because hey man, you're part of the family, and I want to promote you, right? It's not my cup of tea, but hey, right? So just because you're not part of a particular group doesn't mean you can't join it to promote someone else where they can find some real success. Okay, next up is the URL. You're going to want to put in the URL for your song or your video or your Instagram profile, right? You put in that URL or your link tree. And the description, make sure that it's in third person. Make sure that it's addressing someone who doesn't know who you are, okay? So this is very important. Change it up every week, especially if you've got a single that's coming out, right? You don't want your members just to share it 1 week and then go, well, I already shared it last week. Update it. That's the whole point of when you hear during the meetings, to update and spruce up your feature links. Doesn't mean you change up or write a whole new song and record a new song every single week. It's about changing up the description, okay? So that is engagement. Next up, we're going to talk about prospects. I'm going to go down here where there's prospect for help me sell my album. If you don't have like what are those? It's those drop ship websites where you don't buy inventory, but you'll have somebody, you'll just through another third-party website, you'll have it printed and sent out on demand, right? Look into that if you don't have that. But if you've got physical albums to sell on your website, definitely that's a prospect type of feature link, right? Because a prospect in the world of M&O, and especially for a musician, is a fan, somebody who's going to be buying your music. And even if you've got a Bandcamp, right, where people can buy your album straight off of Bandcamp, that's prospects. It's people paying, right? Not just subbing or watching your videos, but actually paying for your material. That falls under prospects, okay? And that's a good one, right? Because when somebody helps you sell an album or a t-shirt, you're going to go in and you're going to thank your members for business bucks, which will be covered later. Let's first get you those sales first. And the way to get to those sales is by creating prospect feature links, okay? Help me sell my album, right? I didn't say beneath the mask, right? Think about like, what is beneath the mask, right? You're describing to your members what it is they're going to be sharing. That's what these feature links are. These are the links that your members will be sharing. So you want to speak to your members in the title section. So prospects, help me sell my album, and where to share it. Share on business groups. You've been on these musician Facebook groups, right? We don't buy each other's music. I'm sorry. You know it, and I know it. So, but the ones who do buy your music are fans, people that aren't musicians, that aren't demystified by our craft, right? So you're going to find them on people's profiles. You're going to find them on business groups. So that's why I instruct my fellow members to share my album on business groups. They'll have more success with that. And this is the direct URL to my physical album to have it shipped. But again, like I mentioned, there are websites that will print t-shirts with your logo on it on demand. So you're not paying for inventory. Although we do have the option of having printed merchandise for you to sell and create a website and then have that as your URL. Okay. And then last but not least is the description. Again, you want to make the description in third person. Secondly, you want to make it to for someone who might not know who you are. But I do want to point this out. A strategy for your member would be to share a lot of these engagement feature links of yours, right? Build that momentum, and then finally drop this prospect. So you can actually type this out so that it is for people that might know your music, because again, who's going to buy an album unless they know who it is? So this is a little bit different, but you still want to sell the product. Don't just say buy Aladdin's music here, right? Buy Aladdin's album here, right? Sell the album, sell the t-shirt, right? 100% cotton, all made in the USA, whatever, but make sure that you do sell that product, and don't rush into it, right? If you have to write a whole novel about how amazing these t-shirts are, great, then do it. Do invest the time into creating your feature links. Last but not least are connections. So what are connections? In the world of musicians, a connection is a profession, okay? So it's not a fan, right? It is a profession. And what professions do we need, right? We all talk about it when we go to NAMM or we go to these expos or these conventions, right? We're hoping to make connections. And who are these connections? Well, they can be anyone from music supervisors, right? To help with placing your music in TV shows, film. These music supervisors, they are human beings, and they might be the cousin of one of your fellow members. You never know. They'll never tell you, right? Unless you ask. And this is one of the ways to ask, is to create a feature link for it. So I'm going to pull up this connection feature link. Okay. I'm looking for videographers and music supervisors. And why? And oh yeah, and share on business groups. Okay. So I want to be connected to videographers and music supervisors because videographers, they make corporate videos and they need music, and they can pay me instead of paying some website for other people's music. They can pay me for my music, right? So if you do produce material, then you should be connected with videographers that create corporate videos, and they can pay you for their projects. Why are they a connection? Because they're not your fan, right? Or I mean, they might be your fan, but the reason why you're establishing this relationship is because they're going to be a connection. Each client that they have, say they have a auto dealer and they're creating corporate video for them, that client of theirs is going to end up having your music in their videos. So that's why it's a connection, because that one videographer is going to have multiple clients for you. And those clients are going to be those that place your music in their videos. Same thing for music supervisors, right? Movies, TVs, films. These music supervisors don't just work for one movie and then they retire. They're going to be music supervisors for project after project after project. So to know that one music supervisor is going to be very beneficial to your business. I say all the time, connections are the gifts that keep on giving. So focus on these. A lot of times we're so quick to get those follows and those subs and those plays. We're so quick to go for those album sales and selling those t-shirts. And we think, connections, those are, it's a long shot. It could take like 6-7 months to build that relationship. But who cares? Once that relationship is built, it is going to be something that can just keep feeding you business. So look into these. And what do I have as the URL is my Spotify, right? They're going to want to check out my music. So I have that. And of course, the description is geared more towards the business side of my music. And that's, how I produce music for film projects. Feel free to tag your videographer. Have a call to action for these, right? Feel free to tag your videographer. And there's another thing I do want to point out about these connections is you are going to come across some people that are car dealers, and you can connect them with the videographer, right? You can tell these car dealer friends of yours that, hey, I do know a videographer that can really help you get some clients. Let me connect you, right? So connections are a two-way street. They can help you, but you can also help them. Same thing with music supervisors, right? Music supervisors are always looking for great music. So you can always feed music supervisors your friends who are in bands, right? That can also provide them with music. Yes, there is some competition, but your music's not going to be a fit for every single project. You know that. So to feed your music supervisors with as many options as possible can build that relationship with those music supervisors. It's the act of giving. The reason why we join MNO is because we believe in the act of playing it forward. But other great ways to help a music supervisor is to find them projects, right? You might know a music director, right? You might know a producer for movies, and you can connect that music supervisor with them. So always think, when you do get connected with the connection, think of ways you can help them, because once you start helping them, then they're going to really start working for you. Other connections is other bands. So I would highly, highly advise creating feature links and put in connection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to create a feature link, and we're going to do one for connections. Okay. And I'm going to want to be connected to bigger name artists. So connection, find me a more established artist. Share on music groups. All right. So what am I going to put in? I'm going to put in my link tree. Okay. Because that's got all my links. So I've got a shortcut for that, so I don't have to look it up. I advise you looking into how to use keyboard shortcuts. If you need help with that, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to help you with that. It'll save you a lot of time. All right, but that's my link tree right there. And in the description, again, it's going to be third person, and it's going to be for someone who just doesn't know me. So, and I'm asking my members to share this on music groups because, well, they're going to be musicians on there. So again, what is a connection? It's a gift that keeps on giving, and it's a two-way street. But let me also illustrate, why is a more established artist a great connection for us? Well, I guess you know the answer to that, right? Because if they share your link on their social media, they've got 300,000 followers, you're going to get a lot of people following you, right? That's why MNO truly works, because as you grow as an artist, your influence grows. And when you do share the links of your fellow business professionals and your fellow musicians, their reach grows as well. So that's why you want to be connected to a more established artist, because when they share your links, then you better believe that they're going to help you grow your music. And of course, they can even ask you to open for them, right? And get on a bill with them. So in the description, you want to put in something about yourself, talk yourself up. What do they care about, right? Is how talented you are, or your strengths as a musician, but also the fact that you're in a networking group, the fact that you have access to a lot of people that you can really help pack a show, which if you're in a chapter, you should be able to pack a show now. You've got people that are looking out for you, that are there to help build your music. And of course, a lot of it relies on you helping them. So it's not automatic, but you have the ability and you have the access to be able to bring a lot of people to a show, and it happens all the time. So I wanted to make it pretty easy. Tag your music below. I've got a great friend in a well-established band looking to connect with other established bands for shows, tours, collabs. He's in a music networking group that's very supportive of his music, and the members share all of his shows on their social media and show up to his concerts in great numbers. What I'm going to do is actually take this thing, the call to action, put it at the bottom. Of course, you can do this too. If you're not an established artist, reword it, right? An up and coming artist. But whether you're established or up and coming, this is true for all. Okay. They will show up in great numbers if you play it forward. Trust me. And if they don't, hold them accountable, right? That's part of being in a networking group, is you have the ability to hold your members accountable. If you pass a referral to a fellow business professional and they don't come to a show, and they don't invite their friends or share your show and promote your show on your behalf, then that's probably going to be the last referral you ever send them. And they would know this, and they should know this. So tag your music or tag your band below, and I'll be happy to make an intro. Their music is linked. Okay. And there we go. It is created. Now, for now, although this may change in the future, actually it will change in the future, but for now, your feature links, your new feature links will show up at the bottom. So you just want to take it up to the top. And there we go. So it's reordered. The next thing that I do is I go on to my group chat. Okay, this is the last thing you do. Go on to your group chat announcements. Just updated my feature links. See you guys Wednesday. Let them know. Why do you want to do this? Because how else are they going to know you got a feature link, right? So another thing I do want to point out about your feature links is when you schedule a session with your members, make sure you schedule a session with your members every week. One member a week. That's all you got to do. Schedule one session with a member of your choosing a week, whether it's in your chapter or in an MNO chapter outside of yours. But schedule a session a week. The reason is you want to promote your feature links to them, right? You don't want to solicit them, but you want to promote your feature links to them. Like when you talk to them, you want to say, hey, Mike, we go over my feature links. I kind of want to show you, my top feature links and what they're about and how you can help me, right? And so what this does is it turns your wishes into something a little bit more structured, right? Where if you're telling them, hey man, if you know anybody who likes good music, share my links, right? That's one way to do it. Or if you say, hey man, I've got this new single that's out. If you click on the one that says engagement, my latest single, it's called DistroKid. I mean, it's called The People's Home. I'd love it if you can add yourself to some conservative groups. Chances are, you know, you're not a political artist, which of course it's totally awesome if you're not. But some people are. But the point is, depending on the type of music that you write, there are going to be certain groups you're going to want your member to join. So part of your session is to illustrate to your member what type of groups you want them to join, right? If you talk about heartache, then you're going to want them to join singles groups, newlywed groups, or if your music is about loss, death, right? There's a lot of memorial groups as well. So you're there. There's something for everyone, and there's a group for every type of like. So I encourage you to look into these groups, have your fellow members join these groups during your sessions with them, and then let them know which links you want them to share. And lastly, during these sessions, don't forget, your immersion into their music or business is the way to get them to immerse themselves into yours. If all you're doing is promoting yourself during your session and you leave 5 minutes to find out what it is they do, that's not going to work. So make sure you split your time evenly. Half of it to promote yourself, educate your fellow member, type of music that you do, the type of fans that you tend to attract, type of connections you want to be connected to, right? But then the second half, ask them great questions about their business or about their music. Find out about their feature links, pull up their feature links and say, hey, tell me about this feature link. What are we trying to get with this one? What groups do you want me to join in order to help you get to where you want? Chances are when you share those feature links, you are going to help procure them a referral. And we will get into how to log in referrals, how to log business bucks in a different video. But this is just to get you going with your feature links. All right. One feature link a week, get it spruced up, at least one feature link a week. And that is it. Thank you for watching. Take care.